What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Non-Applicable Podcast. I am Chubbs.
One take.
Facebook and Instagram, NA.podcast919. Twitter at NA_podcast919. Still making fun of me for the way I said Twitter the other day. Did we? Oh, yeah, we did keep that episode, too. I thought you cut it. Like, share, and subscribe. We have all sorts of content for you. Chubbs versus One Take Plays, the one episode that's there. We have Raw Authentic, Smack That, NAXT, this program for you, and
we may pick up sports talk again.
Probably, football season pick up sports talk because
it's too much for other sports. With everything we put in with the wrestling stuff and the video game stuff, there's not enough energy or time to put in to do a quality version of sports.
Yeah.
Especially with as many players and teams as there are for the other sports. Where football, even though there's a lot of players and a lot of teams, it's easier to talk about main driving points for each team or each matchup each week.
Yeah. Speaking of football and Chubbs versus, going to start working on doing that tournament where it's not so much who's playing who or who is winning as it is just what team is winning.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because it's pretty much just going to be me versus B-Dub, maybe occasionally me versus you.
I said I'd play if you just let me know.
Yeah, all right, so me versus you, me versus B-Dub. So I can't play myself since you guys both are hot garbage.
We don't play like you do.
I'm not anything special at Madden either.
I haven't played Madden regularly since, like, I get the years messed up. I don't remember who the last Culpepper, Marshall Falk, Vic.
A while ago. I will say, though, that putting it on even teams makes it a lot better.
It makes it even.
Yeah.
So you're playing, it comes down to who's better at executing opposed to finding an advantage of, like when you played B a couple weeks ago and you had your one receiver that was way faster than all of
Yeah, and I just sent him on a streak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't fair.
So it takes away from that. It makes it so you actually have to be better than the person and execute opposed to I just happen to have a team that's better than the team you like playing.
Yeah.
So even you could be better than me, but my team's better, so video games I'm gonna win.
So, the first attempt at even teams will be on display in next week's episode of Chubbs versus.
That's right, because I watched you guys play, so I was like, it's already done.
It's a pretty quality game. So I have an issue with GameFly.
Me too, I don't have it.
Stop me if you've heard this before.
I've heard this before.
I say that because we were recording this episode before and technical difficulties. So I have 5 games in my queue. Well, now 4. I had 5.
5.
And I sent back Watch Dogs because it's mid-June's Game with Gold for Xbox. Now I have in my queue right now, from top to bottom. Game I want, not as much. Game I want, not as much as that. The first 3 titles had a medium availability, where the last 2 had a high availability.
Right.
Now, it goes based on highest availability for what's highest in your queue. Does that make sense? Did I word that right? Highest availability for what's highest in your queue.
Right, so you have your queue set up for priority, and then they have it broke down on what's available.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they set it up for, like, if all 5 games I had were available now, whatever was top in my queue would come first, because that would have been the first one that I said I want to rent that. It goes in. So you would think that it would send me the first game with the high availability,
Right.
because the 3 ahead of it had medium availability.
Right.
No, it sent me the 3rd in my list with medium availability, which makes no sense because I wanted that game less than the other ones that I had before it. So I don't get it either way. And the game is FIFA 17, which I had requested so that I could play against B for Chubbs versus, and he doesn't have the game anymore.
So that works out well.
Yeah. So I'll play it some more anyway, just for the journey, which is it's fun, but it's weird.
S'more.
Since I picked to be on Manchester City, no matter how well I do, I'm not a starter. I guess for purposes of the story, but it doesn't make sense. I beat Ghost Recon Wildlands finally.
Yay.
Almost 3 full days worth of actual gameplay. I didn't sit there for almost 36, 48, 72. I didn't sit there for almost 72 hours straight, but over the course of however long ago it came out, yeah, I've played a total of almost 3 days. At least 2 endings. I don't know if there's another one.
I don't know. I've kind of watched some stuff, but I don't remember.
But I've seen both endings. Liked the one I got first better.
Right.
The cool thing about that though is that of the 2 endings, one of the endings is when you complete 100% of the main missions. So your only other way to get the alternate ending is to go back and redo it, like start over and not complete 100%. So since I didn't complete 100%, my alternate ending was after going back and just getting the ones I missed,
Right.
which was only 2 missions. So it kind of worked out.
It's kind of weird. It'd be kind of annoying to have to go all the way back and play it again.
Oh yeah. If you completed 100% and then it was like, oh, well, go back and miss things and you can see the alternate ending. Unless if you do it, it says, hey, also check out this alternate ending if you hadn't,
Right.
like.
Or do this and you can do it again and you get the alternate ending.
Yeah.
Sort of like in Battlefield 4, the campaign had 3 alternate endings or 2. You played it too.
I didn't finish it.
Well, either way, the good thing about it is you just had to start that last mission that led to it, and you just had to do it differently. So it's not like you had to go back and play a lot of it.
Mafia 3 has 3 endings.
Mafia?
All of which are based on
Mafia?
your decision. Like, there's 3 decisions that you can make.
Right.
And each one has its own ending.
Right.
I don't know, since I haven't done it yet, I've been sitting on this. It's you get 100 gamer
That's probably why
points.
you haven't finished it yet.
You get 100 gamer points for picking any one of them. Just finishing the game, you get 100. And I haven't done it yet because I'm, like, unsure about which one I want to go for.
If you're going to do all 3, what's it matter?
And if I can actually easily go back and try the other ones. You know what I mean? If it's like, I suppose I could if I just replay that one.
Right.
I could.
It's only 3 decisions, so I like 10.
I know, and they say, like, psychologically, the less decisions you have to choose from, the easier it is to make.
I will say that even though it's only 1 more than 2, that still does add to the, which one do I want to pick more so than it just being 2, because then you could be like, well, it's only 2 decisions, and if this was real life, I would have definitely done this, so
right.
I'll do this first.
It's not like I can flip a coin and be like...
I've still got another choice. You gotta bracket your flip coin.
Yeah, and knowing what the endings are doesn't make it any easier. Well, actually, no, it does. I lied. I know which one I want to do. Just haven't gotten around to it.
This guy.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. Of the 3 outcomes, I want to pick the one that makes replay value, air quotes, better.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mentioned in our previous attempt at recording, if you, like in Ghost Recon, something happens at the end where then after it, it's like, okay, here you are, you're free to do the rest of the stuff, the side missions, the
Right.
collect your intel documents or what have you, your weapons. But then all of a sudden, what had happened in the final mission didn't happen, apparently.
Yeah, it's like it's null and voided.
Right. So, picking the ending for Mafia 3, I want to pick the one that will allow me to do seamless continuation.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. The E3 starting soon?
Monday.
Monday? So there's that. We'll be able to talk more about it next week.
Yeah, because they're gonna be showing some Battlefront 2 gameplay and multiplayer. Call of Duty's gonna have a whole bunch of stuff for multiplayer, and their new game mode called War. I don't remember what the thing's called. It's like basically it's a pre-game lobby.
Okay.
But that's not what it's called. I'm spacing out on what it's called. It's like a hub, something like that.
Like a barrack?
Basically, there's up to like 48 people in it. You can go around just interacting with people. Not only acting like voice-wise like real people, but you can just go and interact and like see what they have for guns and emblems and stuff like that.
That's kind of cool.
Supposedly it's supposed to be a way to be able to like just be like, hey, that's kind of cool. I like your stuff. You're cool. Want to play together? So it's adding more of a social aspect to it, which is kind of cool. Call of Duty's actually getting rid of their creator class.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
They're doing it similar to Battlefield, where basically you have classes, and each class does specific stuff and can unlock stuff based on what that class is.
Okay.
And that's what your creator class is going to be, basically. Opposed to it just being, alright, I have a gun, I can put whatever I want that's in the game for secondaries and this
Right.
and that. Opposed to be like, alright, I'm one of them is called like Mountain, it might just be Mountain. I'm thinking it just sounds stupid. Basically, you're a sniper. So then you would have sniper kit stuff. Opposed to, alright, I'm going to use a sniper rifle, but then I'm going to have this gun that I could also have in another class.
Right.
They're going to have it broken up to where each individual class has its strengths and weaknesses, and you pick it based on what you want to do.
Kind of okay with that.
I'm totally okay with it. I like it in Battlefield. I wish it was a little bit different in Battlefield. I don't feel like Battlefield has enough. Actually, I'm going to say that in Battlefield 1. Of course, it's hard because it's World War I, so it's hard to have a lot.
Right.
I mean, but the new Call of Duty is World War II, so they're going to have more, but not a ton more. It's not like from World War I to World War II. It's leaps and bounds in gun technology.
So, what, 30 years?
Well, I mean, and there is a bunch. I mean, you at least have some full automatics. And,
Right. It's not like going from World War II to Desert Storm.
Right.
Obviously,
So
technology
yeah, I
is...
mean, there will be some better stuff, but
Okay.
there's going to be a bunch of other games. There's one that Jeff sent me, or talked about yesterday. What's it called? Fortnite. It's almost like Call of Duty Zombies, Minecraft, and Left 4 Dead had a love child.
You lost me at Minecraft.
Well, obviously not look-wise, but it's multiplayer, obviously, and co-op, and there's just these hordes of zombies. And again, you have certain characters that have certain skills and guns, and some guys have knives, and some guys have bazookas and stuff like that. So each character has its own set of stuff. But then you have like a home base, basically, where you can set up and like fortify it. You can like build it up. You can build it to just be trap driven. They even have things where it's like these springboard things where when you run over them, the enemy does too. It springboards them, But you can set it up so it's like, crap, we're overtaken, we need a quick getaway. And you can just line them up so it just takes you to wherever you want when you're hitting them. You can build up and just make like sniper perches.
That's actually kind of cool.
It looks a little bit too cartoony. It almost looks like Pixar-ish, which kind of bugs me because I like my blood and gore.
Right.
But it's definitely a cool concept. I just said Minecraft because you have the freedom to build however you want.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
And you can go through it. It's not like you're like, all right, I'm here and we kill stuff and now we can build. You actually go out and scavenge and, you know, chop down trees and it turns into stuff. Break cars and you get stuff out of it. You scavenge and find stuff in buildings. So it's like Left 4 Dead thought process, or even Last of Us, where you're trying to survive and get stuff, and then it helps you build more.
All right, I like it.
Yeah, it definitely looks kind of cool. That comes out in July, though.
I wish that. So everybody had a 360, or say everybody that did have a 360.
Yeah.
Then went to the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Yet, I wish that the games that you had on your hard drive, like that you got from the store, you should still be able to have.
Thought you did.
Really?
If they were backwards compatible.
Maybe you do. That's right, you do.
Because like the Gears of War games.
Right. Well then.
Once they came backwards compatible, Gears 1, because the other ones I still have the discs. If they're backwards compatible, they're supposed to be.
Like, okay, pretty much the reason I want this is we were playing Dead Island on 360.
Oh, that's right.
And we never finished it.
Nope.
And I want to be able to finish that.
Right.
I think that since we had it on 360, because we didn't have the hard copy of it.
No.
And is it because it's not backwards compatible?
No.
So they need to make that backwards compatible then, so we can have it.
They got a new one coming out.
That's even more of a reason to make the old one backwards compatible.
They probably will, because of that.
I hope so.
I also wanted to play Dying Light with you, because I thought we would have had fun with that. Yeah.
Do I have that?
No. Wait, what?
Do I have that?
No, I don't need it. I'm just saying, because it's like Dead Island, but there's like more parkour type stuff to it.
Parkour.
Drops and stuff.
I see. So like Dead Island meets Mirror's Edge.
Yeah.
Hopefully the first Mirror's Edge.
Yeah.
Second one was crap.
It sucked because it almost seemed like every time we played Dead Island, it was when I was like extremely tired, so I had a hard time getting into it, even though I was having fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we played it late.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mirror's Edge, how do you have a game, the sequel, released so far after the original one, and it's crap?
Right, it's not like you didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
Well,
It's one thing, these yearly releases, like...
You could say in their defense, even though there was the big gap in between, that it went from old gen to next current gen. So it's still a learning process of getting engine stuff to run properly and this and that.
Plus, correct me if I'm wrong,
You're wrong.
the idea for the sequel wasn't there initially. Like, they didn't make the first one and go, okay, now we're going to start developing the sequel.
Right.
It was several years later, like, you know what, maybe we should develop a sequel for this game.
I don't know for a fact. I mean, I don't remember hearing that they made the game with the thought of there being another one, but when the first one was kind of as popular as it was, they thought that they'd do a sequel. I don't remember there being that much time in between. But it doesn't really necessarily matter.
Okay. You got anything else you want to...
We had a whole bunch to talk about, but my computer messing up and shutting off just took all my best stuff.
Yeah, I'd say next week what we should do is, because it seems like we get 2 episodes done, and then we start to do the third, and it's like, no. So maybe we'll do the 2, and then just restart the computer.
After I get stuff exported and stuff, I'm just gonna turn my because I've been leaving my computer on because they're meant to be on.
Right.
And it's not like it's hot in here or it's overheating or something like that. It's cool.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, by the way, I'm restarting.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't get any warnings any other time. It's not like there's a thing that says, hey, you have a virus, or hey, something's not acting right, check it. Like, nothing happens. It's just like, oh, we decided to shut off, bye.
Yeah.
I thought there was something else we were going to talk about.
Probably. I know last week's episode, the same thing happened where we had issues with the computer, and then we didn't even, or I didn't at least, get to. My brain, like, just shut it down, and I was like, I don't care, let's just get through the episode. I wanted to bring up so much more stuff, because we were talking about ghosts and whatnot. I wanted to talk about horror movies and different pop culture ghost stories.
Like Slender Man.
Yeah. But then when we were talking about it, I couldn't think of any other than Slender Man. So I was just like, you know, like Slender Man, and then there's Slender Man, or
Remember Slender Man?
Slender Man. Luckily, I'm of the age where Slender Man doesn't want me, so I'm not worried about it. If I was like 8 and talking about this, I'd be a little worried, but...
Even if he decides to go older, come and get me, I don't care.
Because I gotta finish the Beware the Slender Man is on HBO.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's about these two girls that ended up stabbing their best friend to death because of Slender Man. They were trying to impress him so that they could go live on his in his mansion,
Right.
which apparently is in like Iowa.
We'll have to ask Seth Rollins about it.
I don't. It might not even. I gotta rewatch from the beginning. It was some like rural town in
Iowa.
East Bum, like USA.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yes. But yeah.
I finally watched Jason Bourne.
Yeah. Do you like it?
I didn't feel there was enough of him kicking Heineken, and in the same, and I say this also with the thought that I've liked all the movies. How many times are they going to send the same amount of people after him and be like, he got them all again?
Right.
Send 4 to get him. Oh, he took them all out again?
Yeah, send
all
4
right.
more.
It's each movie has been cookie cutter of the other as far as how they address him.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, we're going to have an agent that's in the area we're going to send to that's supposed to be newer, so he's bigger, better than Jason. So he'll be our end-all if Alpha and Bravo group don't get him.
Right.
Oh, Alpha and Bravo group are dead again? All right, send in the asset.
Yeah.
Oh, the asset's dead too? All right, next movie we're going to do it the same way.
I think it'd be funny if they redid Jason Bourne, or the saga.
Yeah.
It's no longer a trilogy.
Right, and there's supposed to be more.
From the belief of Matt Damon and his not liking guns.
Okay.
Matt Damon is a anti-gun person
In real life.
Right. So take all the guns out of that movie and just see how it plays out.
I think it'd be cool just watching him kick butt, not needing a gun.
Is he just gonna finger gun people? Just pew pew pew.
Well, think about
pew.
A bunch of the fight scenes where like he uses pencils and books,
Right.
and pots and stuff.
Yeah.
So
But then you have the car chases where they're shooting out of the windows and everything. Or they just like, is Gambit there and he's throwing playing cards?
He'll use a flare gun. He'll I can't remember the word. Compromise.
They got super soakers and they're just like.
That's the G version.
You know what? We should make those. We should take regular movies and make them for kids.
Let's make ridiculous G versions.
Yeah.
Just for fun, for
Right.
funny.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing about us that's rated G.
literally nothing.
I still want to do the drunk super dude one. I have so many ideas for that.
Yes, I do as well. Although
Him showing up naked because he was already in his Superman costume and ripped it off because he was so drunk.
yeah, I gotta go save the day. Just rips off.
Or he's naked because he just got out of the shower and he's so drunk he just rips his skin off.
That's quality.
But he's Superman, so he doesn't die, and he's just like there, like bleeding and growing skin back. Hi, I'm here. What are you doing?
That would be pretty funny. Yeah, I really haven't
Him
put
flying
any.
and just puking.
I haven't put any thought into it in a while because, I mean, neither of us have the means of animating it.
Yeah, I tried to get into it, but it's just money-wise and equipment-wise.
Yeah. I don't know. What can we do? We have to. Ever since we've pointed out that we're going to be more active on Twitter and start a poll and everything, I haven't.
Well, I tell you that I would, but and all sorts of like, it would help if we had more of a following. That way, we actually had people to be interactive with, and I mean, we have the Harry that is, and that's really it.
Yeah.
As far as being interactive with us.
Yeah.
So it's not like we have a even a small audience of people to bounce ideas off from,
Right.
or give us ideas like, hey, this would be kind of cool to talk about. It's just us throughout the week going, oh, maybe we could talk about that.
Yeah. And I don't, like, I'm trying to avoid looking elsewhere and saying, well, they're talking about that, so we should talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point of this, at least this episode, was just our random
Right.
stuff that we talk about anyways, but...
Because, like, you had said Joe Rogan was discussing who would win in a fight, a grizzly bear or a silverback gorilla.
Right.
I mean, we certainly could talk about that, silverback gorilla, but
Thumbs.
it would just be a cheap ripoff.
Well, yeah, but he's also not the only one, because he got the idea from somebody else.
True. True. Maybe we could do something like that.
That'd be easy to start a poll.
Yeah.
Ones where we have comparisons.
Or, well, one thing we could do, I was thinking, is since we have the NBA draft coming up, we could do our own draft of anything. Like, we could draft top beverages, like soda brands. If I had the first pick, I would take Pepsi. And then you would take, like, Mellow Yellow or whatever. Just an idea. What? We could do like all-time NBA players.
I mean, you could do draft. You could even, instead of doing draft, you could do like power ranking stuff of things. Like, all right, power ranking, top soda.
I like that.
Yeah.
You would do a top 5 and I would do a top 5.
And then we could do like a collective top 5. That way we actually have to kind of argue and prove our point to push one off to make it number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Well, we'd do all the arguing off show.
Yeah.
And then get to the show and just be like...
I think that would actually be one thing where we differ, because it's like, especially like cereal-wise.
Yeah.
Like, I remember you talked me into buying that Reese's.
Oh, the Reese's Puffs?
I couldn't even finish one bowl because it was so sweet. I wanted to vomit. I ended up giving you the box.
I love it.
Yeah, I can't stand it. All the things that you and I are similar when it comes to like certain foods, especially sweet stuff, because I don't really eat sweet stuff.
Right.
Like, I can buy a bag of miniature Snickers and it lasts me like 2 months.
Oh, I'd have it gone in 2 minutes.
Exactly.
Gummy bears?
Like, I'll have 1 or 2 like a day or so, and I'm just like, all right, I'm good.
I eat gummy bears till my stomach hurts.
And then eat more.
But that's me with every food. I eat until I'm full, and then I'll keep eating.
Yeah, it's like you go, all right, I know that it takes roughly 20 minutes for eating to get to my brain to tell me that I'm full. So I'm going to eat as much as I can in those 20 minutes. And then you're like, Oh man, I definitely ate a lot in those 20 minutes. I am full. But
One more bite wouldn't hurt.
I can keep doing this.
Yeah.
Then when we were at camp, what was it? The pork?
Yeah, we had a nice pork loin that we had made.
Yeah, we had a bunch of extra, which was great because we eat and they didn't.
Yeah.
They were small. And I just see you over by the slicer because we wanted to cut all of it. I see you just cutting it, and I just see you like slumped over cutting and like eating pieces, and it was like you were.
Yeah, I'm sure I felt miserable. I'm sure I looked miserable.
You did. Yeah, you just come like, what are you doing? I'm full. So why are you still eating? I can.
I mean, it's good food.
Yeah, we made some good stuff down
If
there.
it tasted like crap, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. Subjective when it comes to food.
Yeah. If I'm hungry enough. I don't know. So we'll talk off show.
Will we though?
Yeah, because we're besties.
I don't understand that.
Because we're besties.
Yeah.
BFFs for life.
It doesn't help that I put so much time waiting for stuff to export and trying to do thumbnails and do this and do that. So when I'm not doing this, I literally don't want to talk to anyone because I just want peace and quiet and not thinking.
Right.
So there's plenty of times like you and B will message like in the group chat and I'll see it and I'm just like, I don't care.
I feel like, so there's an episode of Friends where Phoebe is selling something or, no, I don't remember. She's advertising herself for something.
Prostitution.
Yeah, it was either like making music or
That makes sense with her character playing
yeah,
guitar.
she had she was doing shows like open mics at different cafes and whatnot.
Right.
And she says, if you want to know, my schedule and where I'm gonna be, send me money so I can buy a computer and I can email it to you. So I feel like send us money so we can buy better equipment and have faster, more productive things.
Well, that's why I say if we had more of a following and got more people to follow, hence having more of a following, we could start a Patreon.
Yeah.
Even though it's still weird to me, like I get it. It would be just as easy because it could be, hey, we appreciate what you do. Here's some money for a monthly, subscription.
Yeah.
But then with that, because I don't know if you know how Patreon works, but you have like tiers and stuff. So like you can set your tiers and like some people do like at the $1 tier, you just get a sticker we made and you get access to this. At $5 you get this. At $10 this, and like the highest one you get different people give more things and stuff like that.
Right.
Problem with that is we don't get stuff to give, so I feel like it's like just like, hey, give us money so we can do the show so you can get it quicker and better, which is kind of what you pay for TV programming for or whatnot.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
I mean, eventually we could have things to give like T-shirts and
even stickers or
coffee mugs. And I don't know. No, I was gonna say lunches with us, but I don't want to do that.
Well, then, you gotta figure that there's people that are gonna be around where we're at.
Yeah,
So.
and we'll get those crazy people that email you all the time.
Well, you could even do it. You could do a thing that had nothing to do with Patreon, where it was like once every couple of months you do like a meet and greet, like, hey, we're gonna be at such and such. Come say what up.
Yeah. I mean, because we've talked about it before. I don't know if it was on the show or not. Like, we'd like to be able to go, like Spartanburg during mini camp and stuff for the Panthers. Pictures, interviews.
Hey, even if we had the money, we'd go to Texas. It's not like it's all that far.
Yeah.
Since we're Cowboys fans, that is. For
Yeah.
anyone that didn't know, new listening.
Yeah, because they got their new facility in Texas.
They still re-signed to do part of their camps in Oxnard though.
No.
But I don't know how much longer that's going to last. But either way, they're going to be doing part of it in Dallas.
Right.
Or not Dallas, wherever the hell their camp is.
I mean, even Charlotte during basketball season when the Celtics come to town, or
Is it next season or 2019 All-Star Games in Charlotte?
19, I think.
Yeah, because they took it away from him and then they gave it back to him.
Yeah. So hey, maybe, who knows? By then we'll be able to go and get to interview people and could be living the dream.
Living something.
I don't know.
Right now it's a bunch of energy that's getting nothing.
Yeah. Thank you to those that do listen. Make sure that you're also liking the stuff. Like, I feel at the minimum, the amount of likes per video should equal the amount of subscriptions you have for the channel.
That's why when like we see on Instagram somebody like sub for a sub, and I'm like, you just looking for subs or are you actually active?
Right.
So I don't just want somebody that's like, I need sub numbers, but I don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Because that's just ridiculous in every aspect. It's sort of like, I mean, you're probably one of them. I see people. I shouldn't have said it that way. That sounded awful. Like, you go on Facebook and you see how many friends people have.
Yeah.
I've got, like, 70 or 80.
Yeah.
And I could get rid of 65 easily.
70 or 80 of them?
No, literally, I could. And be fine. I don't know why I haven't. Some people, it's people that I went to school with that just because I don't talk to them doesn't mean, like, I'm not interested in, like, what's going on with them.
Right.
So I get to, keep track of them that way. But it's like I see people that have, like, thousands, like, of friends, like 1,500, 1,800, and I'm just like, nah.
No, because they're not even real friends.
Yeah. But it's sort of like the likes we get for posts on Instagram and the views we get for stuff on Facebook.
Yeah.
Neither are translating into subscribers.
Right.
So like that the audio video one we did with the intro for Facebook.
Yeah.
It stopped at 161 views. We had one like, and it was B. We had 2 shares or 1 share, one of which was also B.
Thank you, B. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, clearly people are listening.
That's why.
But for like 6 minutes. So, what can we do?
I've been trying to find thumbnails and titles. It's hard because I want the title to be a certain thing.
Yeah.
But it also needs to be where people can see the title and go, all right, that's information I want to listen to.
Right.
That's why I've been trying to make the thumbnail as like hot topic as possible of whatever we were talking about. Like last week when we did our rumors one, we talked a little bit about Dalton Castle, but we also talked about like Kenny Omega and Adam Cole and the Elite.
Yeah.
So I did a split picture where one was Dalton Castle and the boys, and the other half of the picture was, well, not the Elite, I don't remember what they called all 4 of them, Super Click, where it had Adam Cole, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
So I try doing stuff like that so people can at least see the thumbnail and go, oh, okay, they're talking about that. I want to know that information, especially if you're into wrestling and whatnot.
Right.
I don't know, it's probably something stupid that we could do to...
Like, am I not chipper enough in the opening?
I know I'm not overall. Maybe it's me because I talk more than you. I gotta shut up next time. See how that works.
Because, like, I don't know. I mean, it takes us both a little while to warm up.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I don't want to start recording right when you get here.
Yeah.
Like you said, hey, I'll get there, we'll start recording. I'm like, okay. In my head, I'm like, no. I'm going to wait until we start talking and running our mouths and feeling like idiots. And I'm like, all right, we're ready to go.
Yeah. But then I feel like we waste so much conversation.
Oh, especially today and last week. I mean, the conversation we had last week, we didn't want it to be recorded anyway.
Right. But that was like an hour long.
That was almost like 2 hours.
Oh, man.
It was just running our mouths talking about stuff, but it wasn't a conversation that needed to be recorded.
Yeah.
Not that I cared, but...
Well. Who knows? I don't know. You got anything else?
I'm hungry.
I'm starving. Facebook and Instagram. Alright, it's so hard because...
Thanks for noticing.
For like... What? 10, 20,
February.
30, 40-ish episodes. How many videos do we have up on YouTube?
Since February.
Since February, I've been saying Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram because I thought they were all the same, NA.podcast919, but that's not the case because Twitter does not allow periods in the name. So Facebook and Instagram is NA.podcast919, and Twitter is NA_podcast919.
It doesn't help, like, I probably go on to Twitter a little bit more than you do for the podcast anyways. Not that I want, like, I actually don't like Twitter. I think Twitter is a nuisance to the world in general. I think it's I can't think of words that don't involve cusses, so I'm not. It's just an awful thing as far as I'm concerned. It's toxic.
Yeah.
People are just selfish.
Mean.
Yeah, so it's like I have no point to be on there myself, but so for the podcast when I go on there, but I don't go on there and look at our handle. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I didn't even think of like seeing
Right.
it.
It's like when you get a new phone number, and not even a new phone number. It's when you
Even
just,
if you just had a phone number in general, and
like
you have
your
to call
cell
it.
phone number.
Yeah, you have to call your own cell phone number for
Right.
some reason because you lost it or dropped it and can't find it. You're like, what the hell's my number?
Right. It's not like back in the day when you would give out your house number, which you would know because you would have
That's
to
your
call
own
your
number.
house.
Yeah.
But your own cell phone you don't call. So,
Right.
like LB last week had to give her
Still
number.
remember my first house phone number.
I do as well. Yep. But she had to give out her cell phone number and she's like, okay, yeah.
Really? Screw her. You know why I say that?
Why?
It's because she was with me once when I went to GameStop,
Yeah.
and they asked for my address, and I was tired and I hadn't eaten, and I was just all I could think about in my head is I want food, and that's what I'm doing next, and that's what I want. And they asked me for the because I had an address change from what they had,
Right.
and they asked for it, and I was just like, there's a 6 in it, I looked at LB, and she just kind of like had this look on her face, like, how do you not know your own address? And I'm just like, I do know it, but I just got put on the spot, and I'm thinking about other stuff. I was like, there's a 6 and a 2.
Yeah. No, yeah, she was totally like, oh, yeah, okay, sure. It's numbers followed by more numbers. But anyway, we digress further.
Bye.
Facebook and Instagram, NA.podcast919. Twitter, NA_podcast919. We're both on there. It'll be on the screen. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, the likes help.
I'm not saying maybe you should like, share, and subscribe. No, like is an actual word in this case. It's an action. Like the videos, share the videos, subscribe to the channel.
The way the algorithms work for Facebook is likes and subscribers, especially for new subscribers and new likes and stuff, is what makes it to where videos are going to be recommended to
Right.
other people when they jump on Facebook
And if
or Facebook on YouTube.
how many subscribers do we need to change the URL?
How many more or total?
Total.
100.
We only need 100?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we need 79 more subscribers so we can officially change the URL to youtube.com/NA
Podcast.
919 or whatever.
Yeah, because I don't know if they'll allow a dot since it's a URL.
Right. So help us out, and because then that'll help. Just having that would help because then we can just put that out there.
Hey, even if you're listening to this and you're new and you go, hey, this is an idea that would help. I mean, we should probably be a little bit more active on at least Instagram, because usually we make the posts that are just about when we do videos, which is the 5 and 6 days a week. So it's just that, opposed to doing other stuff, which I guess we could, but
Yeah, I've been trying commenting on posts here and there. I'll save it for next week. There was a post it showed 4 pictures of NFL teams. There was the Steelers, the Cowboys, the Seahawks, and the Falcons. And it said you had to pick a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end. You could only pick from each team once.
right.
So you had to pick one of those positions.
Right, yeah, 4 positions from 4 teams.
Yeah.
One from each.
So if you, yeah. Do you know how hard that is to do with those teams? But we'll talk about it next week. I said all that other stuff, so deuces.
Bye. Bye.